This is Mordant McFall, and welcome to the other side of live. Welcome everybody to the other side of live. That's right, the #1 late-night fun-tastic motivational show, otherwise known as the other side of live. And just before, as I'm listening to the music, I'm doing a little dancing. That's why it took me a little while to get back in it. So tonight's working title is My Life To-Do List. And of course, tonight we're broadcasting from Gastonia, North Carolina, and deep in the Bear's Den in Monticello, Georgia. That's right, two places at once. But now, without further ado, let me introduce you. Hang on. Oh my God. Without further ado, here's the person that I'm being very, very rude to. The dark side of positive, my personal friend, Charles McFall.
I was wondering if you had a mouse in your pocket, because you're like, we are in Gastonia. Like, we are not in Gastonia. You abandoned me like you do every year.
I know.
And you're in Gastonia. Yeah, that place.
I know. It's awful. It's awful, I tell you. But, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to
do? Chase down success freaks, make it a real business, and settle down near me.
But no, you need to move closer to the interstate.
Me being closer to the interstate is not the point, sir. The point is you're 3 states away at this moment.
I know. It's awful. It's awful. So, I hope we're sounding good on your Reaper, because we're very quiet on mine.
Hey, it looks great to me.
All right.
I'm good.
Excelente. Well, last week, I was on Bear Crawling Live. And we had a very interesting show.
I don't recall. You have to refresh my memory.
You don't recall? I'm pimping out your show, and you don't recall?
I've had so many great and honorable guests that
you have.
Remember if you were on or not.
Nah, you know.
Yeah, last week you were on, and we talked about many a heated topic.
That's right. There was some yelling. And there was some cursing.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. And that was only for 30 minutes. And then the next section was Q&A time, where we found out more about you. And then the third section was I get to pick your brain and ask what ifs and dive through the rabbit hole.
Right. It was. I liked it because it reminded me a little bit of Chaos and Coffee in the morning. And it was, you know, listening to it afterwards, I'm like, oh, I hope I didn't, you know, because you were at the very end, you were like, you're mean. And I was like, oh, I hope I didn't hurt her feelings, because there was a part of it. No, you said other things. So
okay.
But anyways, I had a good time. I on it. I thought it was fun. And maybe I could have kept my composure when we were talking about the voting stuff. But you know what? I don't get a chance to yell on the radio, so I was enjoying it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Now, speaking of radio things, big to-dos here in Georgia.
Oh, yeah?
I've been waiting to pitch this to you, sir. You know, we're always catching our dream. We're wanting to take that next step up. So I need you to quit everything that you're doing. Come join me for a 3-hour daily show, because Neil Bortz is retiring. And I think we can take his time slot.
Who's Neil Bortz?
Seriously?
I really don't know.
Neil Bortz is the Rush Limbaugh of the South. He is a lawyer. He helped write the fair tax bill. He wrote the book about fair tax. He is huge in syndication, and he's big in the area. And he's a big 3-hour every day morning talk show host, and he's retiring.
All right. You know what? I've contacted, or we've contacted other things recently. I think you should contact them and go, hey, look, let me pitch our show. And we may not get that time slot, but I bet you we get something else close by. Perhaps. So why not look at the opportunity and jump in, my friend? I will follow you. That sounds awful. Anyways, so last week on the other side of live, we had episode number 47, and we called it Success Freaks June. And we were dealing with Raymond Aaron's mainly 6 pathways of life. And mainly is the acronym, which is the word that we could not remember, acronym for the different aspects of having a balanced life. And we had a really good time with that, I think.
I think we could have done a lot more. And we actually did speak about doing more with that.
Right.
Doing teachings and doing, in-depth on each topic so that people could go to the website and download more of what they want instead of dragging it out in the hour that we have. But it was very good and very real world, everyday stuff for anybody out there. It was amazing.
Yep, and it definitely took up the full hour to do all of it. So yeah, man. Speaking of radio stars, I got to talk to you, my friend. I'm at the gym. Okay, story number one. Or half of story number one. I'm at the gym and I'm working out and it's leg day, so I'm working out my legs and I go, oh, you know what, I'm gonna do squats, and usually I do it on the Smith machine, but today I did free weights. There wasn't a lot of weights. I put them on there, I got in position, I took my step back with the bars on my shoulder, and as I go down, I feel this freedom in my posterior area and a breeze as my shorts have ripped.
Yes.
Now, those of you who follow us on Instagram, I've already posted a picture. No, I'm not wearing them, but I show you the shorts and the rip and my hand going through the hole. And my first thought is, oh, I don't have to do any more legs. I'm done. Because I was like, dragging myself in there, but I'd done a couple of things. And as I'm walking back, I'm like, no, I have another pair of shorts. I'm going to finish out my workout. And I did. So that was good. Anyways, during my run, I'm listening to Dave Jackson's School of Podcasting, which I always do, and loved it. He was talking about a bunch of things, no big deal. On my way home, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to listen to a second one. And as I'm getting into a second one, I hear, and coming up next, Charles McFall of the Bear Crawling Live Show. And I was like, I got to tell you, I geeked out a little bit. I'm like, I know that guy. You're more famous than I know.
I hobnob with the rich and famous.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Are you going to talk about our super secret ninja project yet?
I just don't have any details. I don't like to teach something else.
Maybe by the end of the show. Maybe if we get a caller, we are trying something new tonight. So we have a different phone number for you because it is the, what do you call it? Is the No Agenda telephone system thingy thing?
Yeah, it's a No Agenda Live hotline.
Boom, baby. We have a hotline.
218-632-1724, and you'll be greeted by a lovely female robot. So hit 3333. That's 3333 pound, and you'll hear our show live, and you'll jump into our hold chat room, or not chat room, our hold line where we can see people calling in, and we can bring you in as we'd like. It's all professional and stuff.
Whoop, whoop. We'll see how that works. So if somebody calls in tonight, the number, again, is 218-632-1724. And the passcode is 3333 pound. So I'm sure it's going to be up in the chat room. Thank you, Rock Girl. I don't see Sharon Watson, so I'll just...
She's in there.
Is she? Thank you, Sharon Watson. Whoever does it first. You get a cookie.
I already did it. Thank me.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on.
I'm already praising you for being a star, a radio star. So
I know. I mean, I just get involved in things I believe in, and Dave and I are good friends, and we've worked together for many, many, many years, off and on, and I love the topics that he covers. I like that he gives me a voice. There's another one coming up that I'm on where I get to, I think, very neatly and without much emotion, express my displeasure with iTunes and why. And it's a podcast for people who want to learn to podcast. So that was a perfect format for it.
Right. And we all know that you take great umbrage on the fact that I tell everybody you can get us in iTunes.
It's not that. There's other umbrage there, but really you can get us in iTunes, and you should get us in iTunes.
So there you go. Well, moving right along, in light of last week's Success Freaks look at living a mainly, and I'm doing little air quotes, mainly balanced life, and because I found this nifty piece of art at TJ Maxx, and if you want to see the art, it is on the Tosol Facebook page, facebook.com/BCN Tosol, or it's also on Instagram, so blah, there you go. We're going to be taking a look at my life to-do list, and it looks like little drop-down diagrams and has the word life at the top, and it's got a red heart in the middle and all these other things. So it's talking about things that you should do for life. It's like your bucket list for life, and it's, you know, it's a nice little positive thingy, and I thought this would be a nice thing to go over. Here goes my ADD brain. Ready? Are you ready? Before I was thinking of doing this, I was thinking that we should do, I can't remember the name of it.
Yay!
Yay! Avoiding behavior. And there's two types of that. There's avoidance behavior, which is, you know, a form of avoiding behavior. But the other type is avoiding behavior as in avoiding good behavior. Now, you and I, and it often happens as you're beginning to move towards something that's gonna make you grow or take you to the next level. You and I are definitely moving in that realm, and we're both in it to win it. We're both working on stuff. However, I know that I drag my feet on a couple of things. I'm getting them done, but no, shut up, you. And I'm sure you do the same thing. And it's a habit that I've seen with other people as well. So I thought maybe that would be a great thing to touch on tonight. But there just didn't seem enough meat to that. So I thought I would do this instead and maybe still be able to talk about that. Is there anything that you have with avoiding behavior as I just throw you under the bus with this?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I'd like to think no. Because the things that I don't get done just don't rank on my priority list. There are things I know that need to get done, but, you know, I've got the day job working for the man. I've got the family. I fully believe in downtime. So there's times I'm like, I could be working, but you know what? I don't need to be working. I want to play my Xbox or whatever. And I guess if anything, my avoidance behavior is working for the man. Is I should be focused right here doing the job that I'm getting paid to do, right? And then I will take a phone call from you, and I'd rather focus on that.
Right.
And I'll you have Rock Girl pop on Skype, and I'll deal with that instead. Or Noverton hits me up in a message, and my attention is grabbed very quickly when it comes to people because my job doesn't deal with people, and so maybe that's my avoidance is. I will easily be distracted by other things.
Just like that? Were you distracted just like that?
Oh, hey, there it goes. It came back. I'm surprised it came back. So yeah. So I avoid good internet. That's one of my avoidance behaviors. So, you know, I don't usually look at something. Well, okay, that's not true. When I really know I need to do something, like be final. Okay, going back to months ago, before we even joined No Agenda, I had to have a meeting with somebody that was supposedly working with us in the Bear Calling Nation, and I had to schedule a phone call with them and have Angie present, and I just put it off and let them put it off because I knew what I wanted to happen was to be successful. I knew that what was going to happen was they're going to have to be cut loose.
Right.
And those conflicted with each other. And so, yeah, I think I put that kind of thing off. I try not to rush into those things. I don't know.
Well, I think this goes along with I've mentioned him before, Seth Godin and his book The Dip. You know, we all have these natural talents that we're like, hey, this is going to be fun. Let's go do this. You know, or we look at something that would be cool if I learned how to do that, and you get into it, and it's fun in the beginning, and then if you continue on your path to become the best of the best, or really make your mark in that skill, in that genre or whatever, at some point there's a bit of work. There's a bit of work that needs to be done. And I think that's when it becomes less fun for everybody. Oh, I've got to do that. I mean, even with the Tortuga Twins, whenever we learn a new show, like the Christmas show that we're working on for the end of the year, just weeks of writing, and I don't want to do this. Really, I don't want to do this. And eventually, it works itself out. And then you have a product that you're able to put out there, and it can be. And once you learn everything and you set everything up, boom, it's fun. wow, it's just like, riding a bike. First you get on the pedals and you're like, oh, you need your training wheels and I've got to learn to balance and move my legs at the same time. And it's so much to think about. And then all of a sudden, oh, wait, I can do all this. And then you're not thinking about it. And then it's fun. And then you can go places with it. And I think it's like that. So right now in the beginning stages of these new things that we're working on, the super secret ninja project, right now there's a lot of learning to ride that bike, and it's just there's this mountain of work, and it's really not that bad. Most of it I think is in my head until I get into it, and then I'm like, okay.
I think most of it is in your head. I just don't see it that way. I mean, we sat down last Wednesday, and I said, we're going to work on this project. This is what we're doing. I sat down. I'm ready to tackle everything because I'm that guy. I can get uber focused, and it can be a bad thing. But I will sit here until until my brain is too tired, or until we have everything worked out. And I noticed that you're like, well, let me post this, and okay. So we started work. We worked for a good solid 2 hours,
right,
on it. And then you're like, well, I'm gonna do other stuff. I'm gonna work on this logo. And that's I don't work that way. So I'm like, okay, I'll find something else to do then, because that's the other option is, well, I can fight you on it and make you work my way, or we can just step back and work your way. Either way works. And so this time I stepped back, and you even mentioned, well, this is a dip. Today I think you mentioned, this is a dip. I'm like, to me that sounds negative. I don't see this as a dip. I see this as, no, let's get on it. I've got my pickaxe. I'm ready to drill through this mountain. That's just my take on it. I just don't feel like it's, right. I want to put it on.
And that's why I told you, you had your list of things to do. I'm like, okay, you're going to make sure that we do these things. And I remembered a little different. I remember everything in the beginning was me hemming and hawing, but once when we got into it, it started happening. And that's usually the way it is with me. It's like, oh, I don't want to, and then when I get into it, it's like, okay. It's just like going to the gym. Oh, I don't want to go there and work out. And then about 20 minutes into working out, I'm like, so glad I'm here. Wow, this is much easier than I thought it would be. Blah, 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 blah. So that's some of my process and the things that I go through. And I think that other people deal with that too, because we are but mortals, unlike you, the radio god.
God, I'm the rock god of podcasting. Man.
Yeah, baby.
But I thought of another way that I actually used to do it. And the thing is, I say it's broken. Maybe I should say I've been fixed. I've been corrected. I've been repaired, because my avoidance behavior was my parents, man. I didn't want to take a phone call from them. I didn't want to open an email. I didn't want to deal with them until just I had to deal with them. And even then it was, how fast can I get off the phone? How fast? Okay, I just didn't want to deal with anything. I think a lot of people have that in interpersonal relationships where you just don't want to have that fight. You don't want to, what you need to do is stand up for yourself. But I think we know. I think a lot of times we feel what the certain truth is going to be, like the certain outcome. But I think a lot of other times we imagine the worst, and we just don't want that, even if the worst really ends up being the best.
Right. Yep. I think you're right, my friend. I think you're right. And as you can see, we are moving forward, regardless of what's happening with everything. So I'm excited about it, and I can't wait to know how to ride this bike. Okay, one of the things I did, and I actually did this today, is I've been working on my my level up your life speech, and I actually practiced it again today. And I'll tell you, every time I do it right now, I'm starting to get a feeling for it. I'm like, okay, but every time I do it, it's like learning a language. You're like, oh, this will be fun, and then you're like, oh, I have so much to work on. And I'm doing this thing, and I'm going, oh, I have so much to work on, but I'm excited about it. And I think if I hit it, at least once a day, in a couple of weeks, I'll be, the rock god of something. I don't know what.
You are what you say you are, sir.
I am the rock god of
procrastination.
Procrastination. Boom, baby.
I find this interesting is, I think we make great partners. I think we do. I think we make great partners. I feel like I'm being negative on you. I'm not trying to be. It's just a really observation of, I work this way. I'll get in the car. Well, like you will. Okay, we're similar this way. We'll get in the car and we go, okay, in 10 hours we'll be at our destination, and we go. And we stop only when we have to make the biologic or get fuel. That's it.
Yep.
We roll. And that's why I kind of do everything that way is when I'm playing with my kids, I'm playing with my kids. I don't know where my phone is. I don't think about the next thing coming up. I'm focused that way. And we make good partners. I had a point with that, and I've lost it already. But I think we make a good balance because you've taught me, because, okay, in the negative of that, when I see something that sets me off, okay, I go, oh, this has to change. And I'll call Rock Girl, and I'll go, blah, 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 blah. She goes, okay. And she'll walk me through some points. Like, no, I've got to change this. Okay, just take a breath. I'll talk to you, and you'll say the same thing. You're like, okay, and then you'll ask the questions. You both will. Well, why does it have to be this way? What else can we do? And I've learned that not everything has to be changed drastically or violently.
Right.
Which is my nature. Is I'm going this way, and if there's a wall, bam, I go through it. Whereas you've taught me, hey, maybe we can just build some stairs and that wall's okay.
Yeah, fantastic. I think that if you're gonna be our juggernaut, then why don't you juggernaut ahead to the guy who's retiring and talk to those people and say, hey, and see what can happen there.
I will, because I believe in the universe. However, it's a highly political spot. I don't mean like we have to play politics. I mean it's a political show.
Well, I think you offer this show, and they're going to go, no, that's not right for this. But they might look at the show anyways and go, but it is good for here.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be something I'm not. I don't want to be I don't want to do a political show. I'll do a guest spot maybe, but that's not what I want to do. I want to do this. I like the motivational stuff. It speaks to me. It means something to me. That's why I do this. It feels good.
Oh, going back to my point, it plays into it. How I think it's fun, it's interesting that I'm always that true faith guy. My parents spoke of faith all their life, and it stuck with me. And I can look at their life going, wow, how did you teach me to live this way, and yet you don't live this way at all? I find it interesting sometimes, and this is just an observation, it's human, is that you'll sit there and you'll say, we are what we say we are, and we stir the quantum soup, and we make our own destinies, and then you'll turn around going, well, maybe next week I'll be the rock god of something. And it's just interesting because I'm like, I am the rock god of everything. I don't understand. The world can't get me down. And I learned it from you. I learned we are what we say we are from you. And I find it humanizing, which is a good thing, that you turn around and you're not always going, I am the king of the world. You go, no, I have my failings too. And I love that. That's awesome.
Thank you. And that is part of what I try to show on this show, is to be transparent and go, look, this is my process, so you can see me going through it. So that when you meet me, you're not going to go, wow, he's just so spiritual and all. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm like you. I'm in the trenches as well. And I've got my own crap that I'm dealing with. And if I can share that with people, then they can go, oh, well, then that means I have a possibility of having a great life too. Because I know I do. I know that it is up to me to make this a fantastic life. But once in a while, I like to, whether for comedy's sake or for just because I'm a whiny little whatever, once in a while, I'll be like, rah! So, or I got my panties in a bunch, or I split my pants, okay?
You turn into the Penguin from the 1960s Batman.
Burgess Meredith. Mick. Mick the Penguin. So let's get on to, man, I got so much shiny that's happened. I mean, Shadow42 just hit the chat room a little while ago, and I know that a few episodes ago, I think it might have been number 43, he was talking about procrastinating on his musical project. Well, he's completed it, and it's I believe it's out now, or about to be out now. And so I want to give him mad props. And Shadow42, I think at some point during the show, you need to call in, my friend, so we can pimp you out and people can find your music. Our number for everybody is 218-632-1724, and the passcode is 3333#. But right now, let's talk about the My Life to-do list. It's basically a bucket list of things that we should be doing. Number one on the list, and it has number one is be fearless. And its drop down is believe in something. And I had it reversed, and I think it works better the other way. You should believe in something. And as you were so schooling me well right then, you should believe in yourself. Absolutely. And that's part of that be fearless. Now, I think I'm going to amend that a little bit and change it to have courage. Because with courage, you can be afraid, but you're going to move forward anyways. And in fact, without fear, there is no courage, because you have no need for courage because you're fearless. So either way, believe in something, believe in yourself, and move forward on that.
Now, I've heard a better definition. Courage is not being fearless. Courage is being afraid and moving ahead anyway.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely what it is. I think John Wayne said that. Feeling the fear, but saddling up anyways.
And I love what Brent Walker said a couple weeks ago at the meetup was I'm just, and I agree with this. I don't know how to say it in a positive way because it's kind of a negative way that we say it, but we're too stupid to know that we can fail.
Right. We got a call from a Skype call. How do you want to handle this?
Tell them to call in the regular. I guess you can put it through, but they should call in the other number. Too late now?
Yeah, it went away. There was no join the conference. Anyways, you were saying.
So I was saying, call in. If you want to call in, 218-632-1724, and then hit 3333 # when you hear the nice lady answer. And you'll hear us. You'll hear the show going, and we'll bring you into the call. I was saying that Brent Walker said it best, that we're too stupid to know that we could fail. The way he phrased it was I was too dumb to know I couldn't do that.
Right.
And I've kind of been that way. And once I realized that I'm smart and I'm educated, now I go, I've seen the world move. I almost do identify with the Neo character from The Matrix of everybody around me at different times in their life will say, we can't, you shouldn't. Why would you even do that? You know, I've always seen the bigger picture. I've always said I want to do a major radio conglomerate. I want to be big time on the air. I want to move people in the things that I'm passionate about. And I started off talking to the wall and 8 people, but I acted like I was the rock out of podcasting because I knew where I was going. And see, you can even go religious with this. A lot of people will have that faith as, I believe in God, and I have no fear because I believe in God, but most people who say that are really just scared witless. I didn't cuss. See that?
I've had Christian friends who have been in very, very dangerous situations where they had no fear, and they talked about it afterwards. They're like, no, I knew I was safe because of their faith in God, and they knew they were going to be protected.
And that is true. What you really get, what I kind of pick at is those people who say before they're in a situation, oh, I'll never be afraid. Now you're afraid all the time. It's fine to be afraid, you know. But knowing where you're going, knowing that you're safe, knowing that it'll turn out different, that's calm, that's peace, that's what we all want to achieve, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. To just walk through this life with joy. It sounds so Pollyanna. To walk through this life with joy in my heart, so that I know that everything I step on turns to gold, and I fought shamrocks. You know, so I think that is part of being fearless, and there's something to be said with that sense, almost a sense of detachment, where you're like, huh, this is happening. Well, you know, I have no emotion about it. Should I do this or this? Oh, I should do this. Okay. And I've had those a couple of times in my life. But definitely, there's a lot of this with what you were doing with the Rock God of Podcasting, what Brent Walker talked about, what he did. There's a lot that can be said for audacity, and audacity will really take you somewhere. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push forward and I'm going to do this thing, and maybe it'll work out. But you know what? I'm going to shoot for it, and if it does, great. You know, ready, fire, aim. I'll figure it out as I'm going along. So I think that's part of what we're doing with our super secret ninja project. I keep bringing it up because I think we were going to talk about it tonight. So number 2 on the life bucket list, my life to-do list, is be a good friend. And underneath that is forgive easily and laugh every day. So I remember listening to the song by Tim McGraw, Live Like You Were Dying. And one of the lines is, I became the friend I never was, or something like that. I became the kind of friend a friend would want to have. And I thought that really spoke to me, because there are times in my life where I haven't been that friend. You know, I think we've all been very self-centered at times with our best of friends, as opposed to going, no, I'm very pro you, and I'm going to make sure you're taken care of because I'm good. You know, so I think that's definitely there's a need for that. Be a good friend, and the forgive easily. It's also talked about in that song. You know, I have disassociated myself from some people, and then I've gone back after a little bit of time, and realizing, it's not that important, and just saying, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I don't necessarily trust you at my back, but I forgive you. So,
there's a thing to be said for forgiveness, and just because you forgive doesn't mean you everything's back to normal. But I believe you're transitioning here, aren't you?
Yeah.
To the caller that we have on the line.
Oh, we have somebody on the line?
Oh, yeah, you don't see? Okay, I'll bring him in.
No.
Hey, see, that's why I love the system. We both can control it. 918, you're in on the line.
Hey, man, what's up? This is Shadow 42.
Shadow 42! I'm going to put your name in there.
See, I like that. See, we both have control of the room. We can see who comes in. And I saw you. I saw you waiting patiently. So you are calling in to talk about you finally got your music done.
Yeah, kind of goes along with what you guys are talking about tonight about no fear, too, because, I finally had to make that choice. Like, you know what? Let's just put that fear aside. Let's get it done. Let's put it out there and, get on about the business of making music, that sort of thing. But, yes, it is done. It is at the label has it. He's doing the finalization on getting the page set up because it's a digital download only. And hopefully here within the next couple of days, it will actually be available.
Is it going to be available on iTunes?
It will be available it will be available at a place called Hollow Sun Records.
All right.
Here, I'll actually put the link in the chat so people can see it.
And for our listening audience, what is that? HollowSunRecords.com?
It's hollowsunrecords.co.uk. www.hollowsunrecords, as one word, .co.uk. They're a company out of England.
We'll have it in our show notes. So listeners, if you want to find a link to that, it will be there. Now, how do you feel? I remember you were towards the very end of this project. You were doing great in the beginning, but then towards the end, you talked about how you were dragging your feet, and things were just no bueno. So how do you feel now that it's done?
Well, I'm kind of excited now that I got it done. And once I got down to it and said, okay, I'm going to finish this thing and I'm going to get it done and I'm going to not be quite so worried about putting it out there. Once I sent it off to him, and then of course he comes back and he had listened to it and he's like, hey, this is great. So I'm like, okay, well, I can relax now. He didn't hate it, that sort of thing. And I feel a lot better about it.
Well, good. And mentioning your avoidance behavior, as it were, the last time you called in and talked, I was like, yeah, send me your links, and I want to talk to you about using on the shows and getting you with No Agenda Records, and you did. You did links, and it's still starred at the top of my email. And I don't know that this is avoidance behavior, but I see it, and sometimes it just doesn't register quite right. I do believe in universal timing. I believe when things are right, everything falls into place. And it's not like it's wrong. It just, for some reason, whenever I sit down to a work day, it doesn't trigger. And I wanted you to know, I wanted everybody to know, he did his part. I just haven't done mine, and it's not intentional. It's just, you know what, I'm going to forward that on to Get Mo Slave and let him take it from there, because obviously it's not triggering for me to do anything with it, but I shouldn't hold you back.
That's good. And definitely Get Mo Slave will do something, right? It's not like you're just passing the buck and nothing's going to happen there, right?
I can't see. I don't know.
I'm going to bring up the very next thing while I have you on the radio. The very next thing on our bucket list is follow your dreams. So this is perfectly in fitting this. And as I was looking at this and listening to you talk, I'm thinking, it's not enough just to follow your dreams, but you got to bring your dreams to fruition. It doesn't just, let me follow them and then maybe it'll work out. But you got to go on there and hammer at them a little bit. Or bring some buddies who are not going to let you drag your feet for too long. Thank you, Charles. and that you get to reciprocate. I can't say the word right now, but you can do stuff for them too. Did we lose him? Did we lose Shadow 42?
I'm breaking up a little bit. I'm on my cell phone, so.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you so much. Do you have anything else for us?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you have anything else for us?
Well, you were talking about, following your dreams. Incidentally, just not to get too deep in that, but I actually had to put in place, we talked about this privately, letting a dream go.
Right, yeah.
Because of some medical issues. So, but at the same time, there's a part of me that's already kind of going, okay, so now how do I make this happen in a way that doesn't interfere with, doesn't aggravate those medical issues?
Right, right.
So you got to go from one dream to sometimes a slightly different dream, and sometimes their dreams don't come the way the way we originally expected them, if that makes sense.
Well, you know what? And who knows that this dream, which is still in keeping with you being able to do it, this dream that you're following right now may turn out to be something even bigger and grander on a global scale. Whereas the other one is, you know, there's a little bit of glass ceiling in the circles that they run in, you know, which I understand with the Tortuga twins.
And, you know, I like to say the bigger the picture, the more paths you have to your dream. And if you dream small, there's only 2-3 ways to get there. But it's the Vegas principle. You look in the distance and you see that famous casino down the other end of the strip. And you always see it on TV and you go, I'm going to go to that one. It's the big picture. And you can get there a dozen different ways. The bigger the picture, the more ways, as long as you see the overarching goal of what you want to do, as long as you're not too finite about it, you'll look around and find out that, hey, I'm happy. And I didn't realize I got here.
Yep, definitely. Well, Shadow 42, thank you so much for calling in tonight. Really appreciate you helping us testing out our new phone system.
And we got another call.
I see that.
Go ahead and bring that one up, shall we?
All right.
623, you are on with us.
Thank you, Shadow.
This is Sunbug, and I've been wanting to jump in. I got some issues with my system tonight, but I am saying this to the rock god of podcasting and to the one of procrastination, that a mainly balanced life with the bucket list of living also affects everybody else around you. And I've been dying to say this all week. I know you've seen me, like, saying something about it, but it's the ripple effect. And I have been having a ripple effect for every decision I've made. It's either done something amazing for someone or it screwed somebody up. So making your own destiny is awesome, but it also affects everybody else's destiny, how they are going to handle whatever the heck you just did.
Right. Now, I have seen you on the Facebook, and you posted the question about the ripple effect. And in your own words, why don't you describe what what that is for you?
Oh, well, made some bad choices, made some amazing choices, but I haven't seen how it has come back to fruition until I see it in my own children's eyes or my friends' eyes, and they're either looking at me going, what the heck did you just do? Or, oh, my God, you're a hero. And so, you make your own destiny, but in that same brain thought there, you're already affecting somebody else's destiny because how they perceive their truth. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. It absolutely does. But you can't get so caught up in I don't want to bring up the crabs in a bucket story, but you know, people want to keep the status quo.
I know. And quantum soup. I got it.
People want to keep things the way they are. You have to take care of you. You're responsible for your life experience. You know, and if you level up your life, your friends, if they're on the same path, they're going to level up their lives as well. You know, but you don't want to hold yourself back because it's causing, you know, a ripple effect, especially if what you're doing is a positive thing.
Right. And I think that's what she's saying, too. Sometimes the positive that you do in your life, where you think, well, this is just good for me, really ripples out and it's really good for everybody around you.
Yes, it is, because it expands and it makes the world a greater place. And then every now and then you get one of these looks going, really? Did you just really do that? Did you say that? Yes. And so once in a while there is this. But I did want to say about the ripple effect because it's been it's been in my household this week, and so it's one of those things where I want to teach my children, and my friends already kind of get it, is the fact that every decision I make or indecision I make affects somebody, and it's going to change their life in a remote way. So if I walk out of here today and I have shared something or stolen something from you, it's going to be something worth remembering. I'm going to use it to my advantage. So thank you for just being you, because you helped me to be me. And that's pretty much what I wanted to say.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you calling into the show. Could you please tell? I could not hear your name. What? Could you give me your name again?
I Dr. Fun is Sunbug. It is. I don't know if she wants me to use her real name.
I'll just put Sunbug.
But Sunbug, yeah, Sunbug is how she identifies herself when she talks to us, and I saw that earlier, and I've been seeing that in my life as well. Here's one of the effects I saw in my life early on was I wanted to control everything around me, and I wanted my wife to talk to me and be open and be free, and I wanted her to rebel against the rest of the world who was trying to control her, but I was trying to control her, right?
Right.
What I ended up doing was I sought out counseling for myself, and I saw as I dealt with my issues, it took that pressure from me off of her, and she was freed up to deal then with her own issues. She wasn't always pushing me off of her because that pressure, I was always putting that pressure, do something, do something, do something, you know? I was putting that pressure on her, and now that I've removed that pressure, now she's not trying to protect her back. She is actually going out and dealing with the world. And that's a ripple effect, a positive one that I definitely saw in my life. And I love the idea of the ripple effect.
Right. I tell you, it's a very interesting thing that you're bringing up because I've been talking to a speaker, or emailing back and forth with a speaker from the Atlanta area named Doug Grady, who I have asked to come on a show, and he has just come out with a book called The Ripple Effect. So we may be able to talk to him in the next few weeks or months. He seems that he's listened to our show and he likes it, so we'll be able to talk to him about his version of the ripple effect. But Sunbug, I think you are just a butterfly flapping its wings and causing things to change at great distances. So good on you, and thank you so much for sharing.
And I got to say, she posts, she's a fan of Chaos and Coffee. She's a fan of the Bear Crawling Live show, and she's a fan here. And it does make a difference those days when we're struggling to get up in the morning, or we are struggling to push forward yet again into the abyss, as it would seem sometimes. And I'm talking personally, but everybody can connect to this, I think. You get up and go, is this the day that I really give up on the dream, or I change the path I'm on to the bigger picture? And then you get on and you see a post by her that she's interacting with what you do, that she loves what we do. It's people like that who really help us keep going, because we know everybody knows the statistics, the rules. For every 100 listeners or every 1,000 listeners, you get one person to call in.
Right.
Facebook's a little different. Facebook, you get more interaction, but there's some days we'll just post something out there that we think is so, wow, this is the best thought I've ever had, and nothing, right? Nothing. And it's the days that there have been times when I've gotten up in the morning for Chaos and Coffee, and I see she's posted that, from some other show that I did from Chaos and Coffee, or that somebody in the chat room is interacting and agreeing. It came out of nowhere, and they're interacting with what we do. And it does. It makes a huge difference, at least for me, in the morning.
Yeah, and it's just like having those positive people around you in real life. We're the motivators here. We're the people that are spreading the joy and telling people to be positive. But it's always nice to get it back again. And it's just like having those positive people in real life who come up to you and they'll just say something or they'll just do something, and you kind of look at them and you'll go, wow, I needed that, or you get that energy from them, which really is a great thing for me. I really appreciate it, because just the converse of that is that there's so many people out there who are sucking that energy from you, who are just very, very negative. And as you begin a positive path, it's just like when you're like, wow, I want to buy a Volkswagen Bug. Suddenly they're everywhere. Well, just as you begin to start your path of being positive, you're going to notice a lot of negative people. And you're like, wow, they're everywhere. And they're my best friends. And what do I do? So running into somebody who is naturally just so to give off such a positive vibe like that, even for us, I'm just grateful for it. I just appreciate it in speaking with what we talked about last week. So the very next thing on our bucket list is to fall in love. And it actually tracks back to some of the things that were with Be a Good Friend, which is be a good friend. When you fall in love, be a good friend. Forgive easily. Laugh every day, which we didn't hit on too much with the Be a Good Friend. It's very important that you laugh every day. I'm fortunate in that in what I do. I'm a comedian, and I have a show that the motivational show here, and we have comedic overtones as well. So that's what I'm loving about that. It's just that if you get a chance to laugh every day, if you can set yourself up to laugh every day, that is the best way to go about it. That is the best way to, your life is going to be richer. So surround yourself with people like that. And especially when you're falling in love, if you're going to fall in love with somebody you can laugh with. Somebody who is your friend. Mickey Rooney talked about how, I think he got married 7 times. And he says, listen, don't marry these hotties or whatever. And he uses his own terms, but don't marry these. Marry your friend. Marry your best friend, because at the end of the day, you're going to wind up sitting there and talking to them, and you want to have a good conversation. All the other stuff too, yeah, of course. But marry your friend. Be a good friend. So, and in falling in love, take chances. Make sure that you do that, and you never know what's going to happen. Only I think there's a quote, and I don't know who said it or where it comes from. It might actually come from a book I read by Rosalind Laker called To Dance with Kings, and it's a book about Versailles and this woman and her descendants who go through it. It goes from like in the Musketeer time until the French Revolution in like, was it 1792, something like that. Only the bold deserve the fair. Take chances. Those times, those few times that I've gone and auditioned for parts, and I had to talk myself into them, and I went, and those were the parts that I got. And the couple times where I have fallen in love in my life, it began with me putting myself out there and taking that chance. You know, I think it's very important in a relationship that a big part of it is being vulnerable to one another, finding somebody you can be vulnerable with, somebody you can take chances with, that you can trust enough to take those chances. You know, even in my comedic relationship with the Tortuga Twins, with creativity, you have to feel safe. You have to accept all my bad jokes to get to the good ones. If you're shutting me down on all my bad jokes, I'm going to clam up. And those gems, they're going to come out and they're going to become part of the show. You're not going to hear those. So you have to feel safe there so that in your creativity, you can take those chances. And that's what I think about that part there.
And you know, we always have that aspect of go big or go home.
Oh, yeah.
Love big, fail big. But in failing big, you learn. And that's my thing is people see the negative in me, especially my in-laws. They see the yelling, the anger, the passion that comes out when I feel negatively strongly about something. What they fail to see is there's an immediate flip side to that. Yeah, I get passionate. Yes, I get angry and I yell. That is my go-to marker when I'm mad. It's definitely better than beating my kids when I'm angry. But at the same time, as much as I've yelled at my wife, I've been happy to her. I've loved her that big. The passion is all-encompassing. You know, you fail, but you get back up and you keep moving forward. I don't mean failing, I didn't try, so I lost my marriage. I mean, you got to try big. And my wife, what helps her when I fail big is knowing all the times that I succeeded big.
Right. I'm going to put out one more time. I see people are trying to call through the Skype number. We're not using that number tonight. The number right you should...
Right now we can because I lost my internet, so I didn't want to beep, beep, beep while we're on the phone. So calling the Skype number should be okay right now.
Well, what about the other number? Is it not working?
It's not working right a second. No, because I lost my internet.
Well, then there's no way to open this up as a... All right. Okay. It's done something very bad here. So how do I get Charles off hold? Hey, Charles, call me back. You're on hold for whatever reason. So, yeah, there you go. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, as far as falling in love, this just gives me a chance more to talk to you. I just wanted to talk to you one-on-one with my, I don't know, stuff that I'm sharing with you. So it's important that you make a difference in falling in love. I think in your relationship and in your life and all of that, you want to make a difference, especially in the life of your family, in your children's lives, in the life of that person that you call your most intimate. You want to make a difference to them, and you want to make them to make a difference for you as well. The next part of falling in love is listen to your heart. You know, a lot of times we can think with our head, well, this is not the best answer. This is not the thing that we should do. But you should listen. You can listen with your heart. I got Charles back right now. Mr. McFall, Oh, here we go. Now I can get Othoron. There we go. All right. And the final thing with fall in love is live happily ever after. And we've talked about that before. That's the goal of everything that we're doing. You want to have a great life. You know, we're here to be creators, and what you get to create is your life. So live happily ever after and strive for that. Othoron, welcome to the other side of life. How are you, my friend?
Oh, wow, you knew it was me.
I'm psychic.
Wow, that's awesome. I was actually going to tell you my real name tonight. It's Stephen.
Hello, Stephen.
You probably see me on Facebook. I made a couple of posts because I felt inspired by you a couple of times. My passion's creating stuff, so I felt like, hey, why not? You're like the only person I thought who would appreciate that post or two I put on your wall. So I was like, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. What is your last name again?
Richardson.
That's right. Yeah, no, I remember. I saw that, and it was fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool. I just had a really neat quote I was going to share, but I totally lost it.
So where are you calling us from tonight, Stephen?
I'm calling from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Well, I'm in Gastonia, North Carolina, so we're kin right now.
Yeah.
I know, right? Welcome to NASCAR country.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the quote, I can't find it, but, here it is. Awesome. The task of a teacher is not to work for the pupil, nor to oblige him to work, but to show him how to work.
Yeah,
and I thought that's really relevant to what you guys do, because I feel you guys know that nugget of wisdom and just show everyone how to live your best life, as opposed to telling them, or, you know, because you really can't do that work for them, the exercise, the eating great, the surrounding yourself with positive people.
Right, absolutely. You know, the best that we can do is teach them to fish. It's up to them whether or not they're going to fish.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh. Mm-hmm. What was it in the showing? Oh, I just had an experience the other day. Two friends of mine don't get along really well, but I get along with each one of them separately. And the thing is, when they get together, they're both very sensitive and will set off each other's feelings by like an off-flavored joke, and it just keeps banging off each other. And I just kind of mediated, but not telling them what to do, but just showing that each other's not understanding one another. And it turned out to be an awesome time. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Well, did you have anything else for us?
Yeah, sure, if I can.
Yeah, we have a couple more minutes, but then we're going to have to close out the show pretty soon.
Oh, cool. I just, in the spirit of your show, I know how you guys have been talking about money a lot. And I was like, sitting down one morning, and I was like, why not call money a vitamin? And I really, truly believe that it is, in that it's as important as nutrition and as your social life and your exercise, is how much you have, which I feel corresponds directly with how secure you feel, because you're able to handle those financial, what do you call that, like blow-ups that life likes to throw at you sometimes.
Right. Bob Proctor.
I was like, oh, sorry.
I was going to say Bob Proctor, who was on The Secret and has a series of books, says that money is there to make you comfortable. And you can also use it to extend your reach when you're helping other people, or to do other things like that.
Yeah. Oh, he is spot on. I feel like I could connect with that so well. And I'd love to read that book. That'd be a really great time.
Well, he has a book out, and I think you can only get it through his website. It is called You Were Born Rich, and you can look into that. And he talks about the energy behind money and things like that. So if you want to look in that, I recommend Bob Proctor, You Were Born Rich.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be a good time.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you, my friend, for calling in to us.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Oh, and thank you guys so much for doing the show every week. It is awesome. So I just want to say thanks.
You are welcome, and we will. Hopefully, you'll keep listening to us. Did you have something to say, Charles?
Tell your friends. Share the podcast with them. Put it on CDs and throw it at your students. I don't know.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Stephen, and we will see you out and about.
All right. Yeah. See you later.
Ciao, ciao. I just wanted to get. We have a couple more points before we end the show, and I didn't want to lose. Never mind.
He finds you hilarious.
The next thing on the bucket list is find a passion and pursue it. And the drop down for that was create your own happiness. We have talked about that and talked about that and talked about that. We talk about it to each other. We talk about it to other people. We broadcast it over the internet. This is the crap that we believe. We really believe this. Find a passion and pursue it. Find your passion if you can. Create your own happiness. Seriously, it is such a great joy in your life. And your passion can be your relationship. Your passion can be your job. You know, we talk about chasing and catching your dreams. It could be as easy as working for a living, doing what you love, or creating a great family life for yourself. But find a passion and pursue it. That is definitely part of the bucket list of life. And the final thing I think is hardest for us is be good to yourself. And the drop-down thing is something that I do, and I recommend for everybody, is travel often. You know, learn about this world. Grow your horizon so you can see new cultures and other people and appreciate them and really appreciate ours. But be good to yourself. And if you look at the rest of this bucket list on life, it's all being good to yourself. You know, having a relationship, falling in love, being a good friend, being fearless. You know, it's all be good to yourself. So I think that, you know, doing a radio show and working with the rock god of podcasting, be good to yourself.
If you don't be good to yourself, I'm not going to be good to you.
Yeah, you're good to me, so I must be good to myself.
There you go.
Well, I think it's time that we got 4 minutes. What do you want to talk about? Anything?
Well, one thing along that line is there's only so far other people can be good to you before they write you off. And I've had that happen in my life of, I'm just negative, I'm negative, I'm negative. And they go, no, look at this part of life. No, look at that. Look at what you're actually doing. And they'll reach out, and if all you want to do is have a pity party, they'll walk away. And that's kind of where I am now. I mean, I've said this, that I'm broken, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm fixed. I don't have time for that negative crap anymore.
Right.
If you go, oh, I'm negative. I'm like, no, look at it this way. I'll try to give you 3 or 4 different perspectives, and eventually go, obviously you just want to be that way. I'm going to go on and live my life and be good. Thanks, bye. Now, so love yourself, because if you don't, nobody else will love you. And pity is not love.
Yeah, I had that, and I've talked about this before, where I was just, whining about a lot of stuff, and I think it was my youth director was like, dude, you're so negative. What's up with that? You're whining a lot. I believe that soon after you're punched in the face, everybody gets to reel from the punch. You're allowed your pity party when something smacks you down. But soon after, you need to get up, because life is going on. And you will heal. You need to heal, but you're allowed that initial reeling from the punch. So that's not what we're saying, that when something horrible happens, you don't get to feel. No, of course you do.
No.
Of course you do. However, wallowing it or discovering that because you're like that, you get a certain amount of attention, so you start creating that reality so that you can have that kind of attention. You don't want that. You don't want that, especially as you're getting older, and then what you'll be creating for yourself is a very sickly life. And that's not something, that's that negative drama. You want positive drama where great things are happening for you and around you, and people are like, wow, that's awesome. You're like, yeah, it is.
And, I love the awesome positive vibes over at Facebook.com/Bear Calling Nation. It really gets me going, I'm telling you.
You pimping yourself out. You sly little bear.
And BCN Tosol, Facebook.com/BCN Tosol is where you can find all of our goodness, all of our links. The shows get posted there. You're at Facebook.com/Mordant World.
Yeah.
Find you personally there.
We are, of course, both of us are on Instagram. You are under Bear Crawling, and I am under Mordant World, either at Bear Crawling or at Mordant World, however they do that there. And you're at bearcrawlingnation.com. I'm at mordantworld.com. Those of you who are listening to the podcast, we are live every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find us at mordantworld.com/NAS. And, of course, the NAS stands for No Agenda Stream. And those of you who are listening to us live, if you care to catch this show again or other shows, you can go to theothersideoflive.com, or you can find us on iTunes and other places. So there you go. And of course, you want to email us, Tosol at theothersideoflive.com, or leave us a message on SpeakPipe. Yeah, that'll happen. That'd be great. We'll hold our breaths. What now?
Never mind.
What were you going to say?
I was saying take us home because I was trying to catch you before it rolled over to time, but it rolled over to time.
All right. Well, then, this has been our Mordant McFall.
And the run out time bear.
Welcome, or thank you for listening to The Other Side of Live. Boom, baby.
Ciao, dream catchers.
Ciao, dream catchers. I'm all flustered.
Really.
Boom, baby. Can we be
Do
done?
it. Ciao, dream catchers.
Ciao, dream catchers. Hang on, let me get it.
Say it with passion.
Ciao, dream catchers. Boom, baby.